Hey everybody, it's Never, and today I'm going to do a top 5 list because I like lists, I think they're fun, and I haven't done something like this in a long time, maybe ever. And so today is the top 5 things I think everyone should try in World of Warcraft. So number 5 is, I have a list over there that I'm looking at. Number 5 is the Brawlers Guild. And this is a good time to do it because the Brawlers Guild is coming back on Tuesday, I believe. I've had a lot of fun in the Brawlers Guild, and the reason that I think everyone should try it is because it's a really good test of your ability to play your character. And it forces you to think outside the box, because no one can really do it for you unless you do that whole illegal account sharing thing, which don't do the illegal account sharing thing, you'll get banned, and you don't want that. It forces you to think outside the box and do things that normally don't come up in other types of gameplay. I would suggest, if you want to be really brave about it or you want more of a challenge, go into the fights without any strategy, without a guide, without knowing how to do it, at least the first few times, and see what you can figure out on your own. If you've ever wanted to try a raid boss without having a strategy, but you knew you shouldn't because it would waste your guild's time, this is a chance to do something like that and see what you can figure out on your own. If that doesn't sound great, or if you try it and it's not something you want to put the time into, then yeah, get a strategy and try to do it. It's still quite a challenge. Also, try and do it as early in the expansion cycle as possible, because as gear gets inflated as we go through the expansion, the bosses become easier and easier and more trivial. And so if you really want to get the challenge and the sense of accomplishment out of it, then do it early on when it's more difficult. This is Thor. He is a fighter. He gets in fights all the time, so he's got some wounds that we are taking care of. He is a scrapper. Yeah, you gotta stop fighting other cats so much. I know. So, the Brawlers Guild. And pet cats when you see them. That's good advice. Next is to develop a character story, even if you don't RP. And the reason for this is because it gives you more depth and meaning to everything you do. If you have a background for your character and there's a purpose behind what they're doing, it gives you an investment into what they do and what happens to them. Like with the aforementioned Brawlers Guild, if you come up with a reason for your character to be there and be doing that and kind of develop your own, like, Rocky sort of story for your character, then your victories can be that much sweeter, and your defeats can give you that much more motivation to try again. Not just that, but it can influence all the different aspects of your character, and I've talked about this a little bit in other videos, to where if you let your character's story influence their transmog, or influence the way that they talk, or the choices they make, or how they feel about other characters, even just doing linear quests, it can make it more memorable and then give it some depth, so that because of that you have a better chance of creating some good memories. And I mean, really, the best thing you can get out of gameplay, other than a social interaction with people, a meaningful social interaction, and an improvement into any skills that are related to that, is good memories that you can take with you. I've got some really nice memories from gaming that I've done that can help you out during rough times, or are just nice to reminisce on or share with other people. So develop a character story, even if you're not going to RP. But if you do RP, it makes that all the better. And I've got a couple of videos that are pretty popular about that. The next thing I think every player should try is every class. Now this is easier than ever with the class trials. Here's a secret with class trials. If you want to skip the waffle and just get to where you can play around with the class in Orgrimmar or wherever the Alliance go, just make your class trial character and then use your Hearthstone, and it'll take you right to Orgrimmar. And then you can try out the class with at level 110 with all the bells and whistles and everything, and it's a good way to go, and you get a pretty decent idea of what it can do. You can run around and do a few things. If you want to start it from level 1, then I would recommend getting at least to level 10, and ideally more like level 20 to get something of a decent feel of it. But The reason I think you should try every class and play a little bit with every spec is you have no idea what they're like. The classes are, even in the state of the game right now, they're still different enough from one another that it's worth giving them a shot. And you may be surprised at what sort of things you end up liking from other classes that you didn't think you would like. So trying every class is a big one, and I really recommend everyone do that, especially if you're a newer player, because you don't want to end up like a lot of people do, especially if you have limited time to play, to where you invest in the first class that's interesting, and then for whatever reason you try another one and it's so much more enjoyable than the first one, and you wonder, why did I waste all this time? I could have been playing this other class that I like more, or I could have gotten some things that character has that this new character I want to play now doesn't. So try them all out. Get familiar with them. It helps you not only make a good choice for what you're going to play, but be familiar with what you're playing against in things like PvP, or what your allies have in things like raids. I don't play a shaman, but I know what shamans can do, and knowing that makes me a better raid leader, makes me a better tank when I've got a shaman healer, or a better healer when I've got shaman DPS. It makes me easier to kill ally shamans, which is always an added benefit. Next is read the quest text. This is something that I learned fairly recently, something I guess that I always knew, but I didn't actually put it into proper practice until recently. Read the quest text. It will make everything you do, especially during what some would consider the most boring things in the game, which is leveling up, it'll make that fun and memorable and interesting. And I can't tell you how much stuff I have missed over the years by not doing this. Don't be like me and not pay attention to that and ignore it. And you would think somebody who cares that much about story and is interested in all of that would read the quest text, but for whatever reason, maybe it was just expedience, or I just didn't want to be bothered. I didn't do it, and I wish that I had. Read the quest text, because it will give context to everything you do, and going along with developing a character story, reading the quest text will make everything that much more memorable. And you won't be running around and it's like, why are we in this raid? What are we here to do? Look, it's a boss, and I guess we're killing it. But understanding where that came from, is like Mithrax the Devourer. If you didn't do the stuff in Vol'dun, you have no idea who that is or why you should care. But if you did, oh man, Mithrax the Devourer, yeah, let's get it. It makes a difference. And not only that, it's just, there's some really, really good stuff in there. There's some hilarious things in the quest, some really memorable stuff. If anybody hasn't read through the quest text for the quest line to go to the Gold Tusk Inn, you are missing out, because that is some good stuff. So read the quest text. There's a couple of add-ons that can help with that. There is Storyline, and there's, what is the other one called? I can't remember. Immersion something. I've got to look it up because it's important. So anyway, yeah, immersion. Read the quest text. It will change the way that you look at certain parts of the game for the better. It's good stuff. It's some of Blizzard's best stuff that a lot of people miss. Finally, the last thing I would recommend that everyone do, and do this more than just once, help a new player, or at least help another player. Go through your day, your time playing, and try and help someone else out at least once. That doesn't mean you need to give them free mounts or anything. But if you see a new player, and here's how you tell a genuine new player. Just go ahead and inspect their character. If they have no heirlooms, they're probably a new player. If they have no heirlooms and they're not a starter account, then if you've got some extra gold, give it to them. It will make their day. 50 gold will make their day. 100 gold will really make their day. And for most of us, that's just nothing. Help a new player out. Take them somewhere. If you've got a flying mount that can carry a passenger, take them somewhere that they need to go. Give them a portal if you can do that. Whatever it is. If they ask a question, give them a good answer, be friendly to them, let them know they can talk to you again. Tell them to add you to their friends list. And it helps people out so much. If you want the game to be better, then be the kind of player that makes the game what you want it to be. Let me say that again. If you want the game to be better, it starts with you. Be the kind of player that you think the game should have. Be the kind of player you think you deserve to have playing with you. That's probably the best advice that I have for every player to do, is just be excellent to each other. If we do that, then the community will get better and the game will get better. The best thing we can do to improve the game is to simply be better people toward one another. That will do the most. And so as you go about your World of Warcrafting, maybe try and do some new stuff. Try things that you haven't done before, but most of all, just try to make the game better for at least one person. Because if you make the game better for someone else, you're going to make the game better for yourself, and then you helped out 2 people. That's the best advice I have. Okay, thanks, bye.